been a fun morning. No one can make it up the hill.
This is one of the worst spots that we have seen. I mean, sheet of ice, we are just slipping and sliding.
The Triangle's snowiest day in 5 years.
An inch of snow can really cause some problems.
Man, it's been an absolute mess this morning.
No sunshine out there. We are sucked in with the clouds.
There's really not going to be a whole lot of melting.
Absolute sheet of ice.
Yeah, stay home. That's what's going on right now.
Our team is spread throughout North Carolina this morning. And let's get straight to the new headlines at noon. It is snowing again, and temperatures are expected to get down into the teens tonight. Right now, many area roads are icy and treacherous, and drivers are spinning out. RDU is reporting dozens of cancellations and delays. About 6,100 Duke Energy customers are without power across the state. That's down a bit, so the situation is improving. But right now at this hour, we are enjoying round 2 of the snow as we give you a live look at it snowing down on Western Boulevard here near the station and all across the Triangle. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's been quite a couple of days for certain. We have live team coverage for you of the current weather conditions. Snow and ice is lingering on those roads. Temperatures remain in the 30s this afternoon. Let's start with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on the WRAL weather over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a look at when we'll see some melting out there.
A lot of people may be turning on the TV thinking, hey, what's going on? We have snow falling. If you remember this time yesterday, we were talking about the fact that we might see another quarter to a half an inch with a wave of snow that was going to come through and end in the early part of the afternoon. So that's what we're seeing. The models this morning started to back off of that a little bit, but yesterday's runs were pretty much right on target. This is a live look at Franklinton. Big fat flakes flying and falling. I believe that they must have come through with either some salt or to scrape the road here in Franklinton, because this has been really ice covered, especially with this latest round of snow coming through. And that road is looking a lot better now. We take a look through downtown Raleigh. They've definitely salted Fayetteville Street, which was ice covered this morning. We continue to see some big fat flakes flying here. It is 28 degrees right now. We have a light wind at 3 miles per hour. Some folks are going to see just a light coating with this, but it shouldn't be enough to cause a lot of additional problems. We have plenty of current problems out there with some slick roads because of the snow we saw yesterday. Here's a look at where it is now from the Sandhills through Raleigh and the Triangle all the way up the I-95 corridor. It is likely to move on out of here by around 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but snowing in Chapel Hill, Durham, Apex, Raleigh, Wendell, Wake Forest, Lewisburg, Nashville, Enfield, Roanoke Rapids, all seeing some snow, big fat flakes. Futurecast as we roll it ahead through the next couple of hours, you can see just a little bit of light snow there, and then it's over with by the time we get to, again, around 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. New just in the last hour to 2 hours, we have more of the viewing area under our cold weather advisory. This is where our wind chills could drop into the single digits overnight, and we're looking at least low teens for the rest of the viewing area. So it's going to be a very cold night tonight. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning to a wind chill at 10 in Clinton, potentially 12 in Durham and South Hill, and some of our northeastern counties could see those wind chills into the single digits. So what are we looking at for the rest of the day and into tomorrow? We still have winter weather advisories in effect for some slick roads out there. And of course, we're having some snow falling in parts of the viewing area. This will be, heavily coming down, but minimal impacts additionally from this. And then the wind chills, of course, diving down into the teens and single digits overnight tonight. Finally, the sun should come out tomorrow and we'll begin the melting process. I'll show you how that will go over the next few days. Coming up, Ken.
Hey, Elizabeth, let's keep it outside. Give our viewers a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see those nice fluffy flakes coming down there on Lake Wheeler Road. As Elizabeth just mentioned, not necessarily causing any major issues in the roads, but you can still see the pavement just a little bit as people make their way to and from on those east-west lanes. A little farther to the east is I-87 and Rendell Avenue. See this traffic moving nicely in both directions. Very light traffic, so many of you delayed your start times this morning, and we do appreciate that because of this second round of winter weather that we're seeing. But yeah, you can see it's sticking to the grassy area, the median, and the shoulder of the road there, but nothing major to worry about. We got a couple of incidents dotting our live traffic sensors, but nothing that's creating any major problems for any of our major routes. You can see just the yellow that you're seeing, that's just a situation where people are taking it easy, not going too fast, which is what we're encouraging everybody to do at this noon hour. We'll keep an eye on this and let you know if anything continues to affect your afternoon commute.
Yes, this new round of snow adding on top of the issues that we've been seeing all morning. And there are some specific icy spots that are causing a lot of trouble for drivers.
Pool Road, one of them. This was just an exercise in futility here. This van just spinning its wheels on the ice right there. Brett Neese is right out there at the top of that street where we've been seeing you all morning, Brett. And these folks had a tough time until the DOT came in and kind of saved the day.
Yeah, Jeff, a little bit of relief for some of these drivers here in this area. This is Pool Road right at Hodge Road, so just a little bit a ways from 87, but all up and down. Pool Road just not in good condition. I want to first show you this clip right here. It shows you the drone video that we took following an NCDOT truck spreading salt and sand mixture that helped traction for some of these drivers, and that van again. It's just incredible to watch that van specifically. That woman that was driving it was determined to get out of this situation. It was a situation she was trying to avoid. She was actually turning around when her tires got stuck and those started screeching and squealing and burning rubber to try to get out of that situation. So many others also fishtailing and trying to navigate these icy hills here along Pool Road. It has been a difficult morning all morning long until that sand and salt were put down. We talked to Parker. He's from Chicago. He grew up dealing with some of these issues, and he was helping some of these people guide along. We also spoke with another man his van was stuck at the same time. Take a listen to both of them.
Because I've driven in this ice before, but it has never been this thick.
It's been a fun morning.
Is it frustrating seeing this play out like this?
If you don't have snow tires, you gotta stay home, you know. And I mean, no one can make it up the hill.
Pool Road in good shape at this point, but it is still these secondary roads that DOT says to avoid. Live in Nightdale, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
All right, Brett, thanks for that. What a scene out there. We have been putting a lot of miles on the WRAL storm tracker over the past 48 hours or so, the last 2 days.
Yeah, the storm tracker out there navigating the roads so that you don't have to, and giving you a live look at what roads are looking like now. WRAL's Keely Arthur is in the storm tracker right now. And Keely, where are you?
Hey, so we are on Lake Wheeler Road, headed kind of south in Wake County. You can see right in front of me, there's this car. It slipped into a ditch. We just spoke with the people driving. They're okay. We rolled down our windows, asked if they needed any help. They said that help is on the way. This is probably the second or third car that we've seen as we've traveled from Cary, now kind of headed toward Fuquay Arena, that we've seen stranded, something that obviously is common when you're dealing with road conditions like this. Now, Lake Wheeler looks like it had been plowed at some point, but you're seeing a ton of snow and ice kind of packed into the road. Thankfully, though, not seeing a lot of drivers on the whole. Interestingly enough, we've seen a fair amount of people walking. They are geared up, they're wearing cowboy hats and coats, and they're heading to their destinations, but walking. And if you can do that in a warm way, that's probably the move right now. So again, on Lake Wheeler Road, headed to Fuquay Arena. Lake Wheeler, not that clear right now, so if you can, avoid this area. Reporting live in Wake County, Keely Arthur, WRAL News.
Walking may be the way to go, since spin-outs not uncommon when you're seeing layers of ice and snow and people veering off the roads. Glad that person is okay that Keely saw.
Exactly. Chelsea Donovan has also seen a lot in just a few hours this morning. She is in Johnston County right now near McGee's Crossroads. Chelsea, what's going on there?
Yeah, we have been all over the place. We're here at McGee's Crossroads, here the four-way stop here at Highway 50. Still a sheet of ice. We were on Highway 50 earlier today where cars and tractor trailers could not go up or down the hill. Many of them spinning out. You can see the Johnston County Sheriff's patrol deputy obviously working to keep the roads safe today, as there have been a lot of accidents, like one-car accidents where they just spin out of control. Let's show you some of that video near Angie Road, right on Highway 50. You can just see a mess. Cars just slipping and sliding. We're talking about like 2 inches thick of ice that they were trying to go up and down. We talked to a tractor trailer driver. Actually, he stopped us and he said, "Hey guys, I'm from Tampa." And he had spun out on the side of the road and was in a ditch. He's like, "I don't even know what to do with this." Can you imagine these Floridians here driving on these icy roadways here in North Carolina? Basically, he got stuck, and the highway patrol trooper thankfully helped him out. These highway patrol troopers and deputies and law enforcement really doing their jobs to keep the roads safe. So, again, if you don't have to be out in this mess, it is absolutely best to stay home. We'll keep monitoring the roads and bring you the latest coming up.
Varying conditions where that line was, where the rain and the sleet started and the snow was, and 2.3 inches at RDU International.
Yeah, and then in Durham, nearly 4 inches of snow there, and it's still coming down. Monica Casey live at the scene of a crash on Mineral Springs Road in Durham. Monica, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Renee, things are starting to clear up here. We're seeing a little bit of movement on this road, South Mineral Springs Road here east of downtown. You can see this tow truck getting a hold of this Tesla. That front left tire was up in the air just a couple of moments ago. And that Tesla was not alone in that ditch. Take a look at this video from a little bit earlier this morning. Another truck had actually also crashed into that Tesla, was also in the ditch with it, and people who have been here in this area tell me it is far from the only crash they have seen over here today. This road is just a sheet of ice, and with the curves and the slight hill here, it has been a big problem. I spoke with one man who was here for about an hour and a half. He had picked up his wife from where she worked at the hospital and was just trying to get her home after an overnight shift. Instead, they were here for almost 2 hours helping multiple people get out of these ditches. Take a listen at what he had to say.
The people that I've helped who've slidden off roughly right here is probably like almost 10. And you help one person, someone else flies by because they want to get around you, and then they slide off. So about 10.
Yeah, so slow and steady, definitely the name of the game out here on these secondary roads in Durham. Thankfully, this situation looks to be wrapping up here. We'll send it back to you all live in Durham. Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Monica, thank you. Be sure to stay with us right here on WRAL and WRAL News Plus. We will have live weather updates today and tomorrow, which again are WRAL Weather Alert days. Find WRAL News Plus over the air on Channel 34, Spectrum 1257, and the WRAL News app.
Yeah, so it's our second straight WRAL Weather Alert Day. Let's go for 3. We're going to extend it till tomorrow as well. And after the break, meteorologist Chris Michaels will explain for us a little science, why sleet melts slower than snow.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
Just a quick pit stop here in the WRAL Live Center before we get back to your weather coverage here, your forecast in full. We're looking at numbers at RDU in terms of delays, 49 at right now during this hour, and at least 30 different cancellations that we're seeing at the airport. Yesterday, we saw a slightly larger number, but I mean, the day's not over yet. That could very well change. And before I hand it over to weather, just a little breaking news that we're receiving here in the newsroom. All traditional Nash County public schools will be closed for students tomorrow because of the weather that we're experiencing here. Just a heads up for parents.
Chris, thanks. The WRAL Storm Tracker spent the morning crisscrossing the viewing area, and this is one of the crashes they came across on I-95 near Selma. You can see one car facing the wrong direction there. We're working to learn if anyone was seriously hurt in that. Just 3 miles up the road, the Storm Tracker encountered what appeared to be a crash involving a FedEx truck. It's unclear what caused that crash, but it just goes to show that even tractor trailers are no match for snow and ice. No word on any injuries.
Some of our southern counties saw more sleet than others, and that takes longer to melt than snow. WRAL meteorologist Chris Michaels explains why.
Some of our southern counties wound up getting about an inch or less of just straight up sleet. These are some of the reports that the National Weather Service sent us. Close to 3/4 of an inch of sleet in Irwin and a place like Salemburg. That's in Sampson County. Goldsboro and Hope Mills saw about a 1/2 inch or less of sleet. Here's how that behaves a little differently than snow. Sleet has a lot more moisture. It's a little denser than snow, so it takes more time for the sleet to melt than snow. And then there's also some chemistry involved. You remember in like elementary, middle school, you'd learn about matter and the states of it, that you'd have a gas, a liquid, and a solid. Well, when you're melting something like sleet, you're taking it from a solid to a gas. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time for that to happen. So we need the sunshine. Here's what we're tracking that is going to allow that to happen. High pressure, when it gets closer to us, the air sinks, and when the air sinks, you see less cloud cover and more sunshine. That'll happen Friday and Saturday, but even still, for those of you that got more sleet, you may notice it sticking around a little bit longer than those who have some snow on the ground.
I knew there was going to be a teachable moment. It just couldn't be all fun, right?
Professor Michaels, yes, schooling us on that. No one roots for sleet, but we know there are a lot of snow lovers out there, and right now we're getting a bonus round of snow.
Love seeing this. Just about every camera we're looking at. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. This newest information we need to know.
It is so pretty out there across much of the viewing area where we see this band of snow moving through. I will say that there could be a light coating of snow in some places, but this is not something that is likely to make conditions worse than they already are. They're already bad enough in some places, as you've seen, as you've been watching our newscast. New things. We have the cold weather advisory that was in effect for just a little part of our viewing area, expanded to more of the viewing area for tonight, and our WRAL weather alert day expanded into the day tomorrow. It is still going to be slick in places and very, very cold. Here's a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar from Sanford through Raleigh up toward I-95. This is where we have this band of snow, but look at that. There's the cutoff. It's getting ready to pass I-85. So if you want to, really soak in that beautiful snow globe view out there, go ahead, because it's about to pass us by again without producing a whole lot of accumulation, just a little bit. Here it is in North Hills, just coming down, but it is not affecting the belt line here. Definitely here in the parking lots, you can see a lot of snow here at North Hills, and it's just coming down beautifully. But again, it doesn't seem to be affecting the belt line as folks are passing by North Hills there. Let's take a look at temperature. It is 28 degrees. The temperature has been creeping up a little bit. We may hit 32 degrees around the middle of the afternoon, and there's a very small chance that we would see a little bit of sunshine later today. If we do, that will help the melting process. We do just up until around 1 o'clock have that chance for some more snow to fall. Not really seeing much accumulation with this, and then it tapers off into the afternoon with a little bit of clearing. Let's talk about some of the snowfall totals so far. Youngsville at 4 inches, Carborough at 3.2, Dorches at 3, Cary at 2.3, and that was also our official total at RDU. Siler City at almost an inch, and Anger at around an inch as well. And then, of course, we add to it the snow that we've seen just over the last few hours. And meteorologist Kat Campbell here with a look at the radar estimates for those totals.
And often, Elizabeth, the radars, overestimate some of these totals with both snowfall and rainfall. But we have seen a light coating from this round. And the radar estimate, I would say from 440 around the Beltline north up toward Lake Gaston, Carr Lake, between about half an inch and an inch. That's been the bullseye where we've seen the heaviest snow banding today. But overall, it's been some pretty light snowfall totals, especially given yesterday's snow when we were in the dark shade of blue on that map. Big issues remain, though. This is the key here. We've got more snow right now. With that, we've got a fresh coating for some on the roadways, just making things a little worse. Minimal melting today. It's cloudy. It's cold. We're still below freezing. There's just not a lot of room for melting. So anything that's left on there that maybe people have driven on just turns to ice tonight. With low temperatures in the teens, it's a hard freeze for everyone, and boy, is it cold out there right now, Elizabeth.
Yeah, these cold temperatures are not helping things whatsoever. And the blue box on the left is the temperature. It's 27 in Southern Pines, 28 in Durham, and 26 in Goldsboro. But there's been a bit of a breeze so far today, and so it feels even colder. It feels like 16 in Rocky Mount, 19 in Fayetteville and Southern Pines. It feels like mid-20s in the Triangle area right now. And of course, then we have to look ahead to what happens next. We see temperatures climbing to right around freezing this afternoon, maybe a little bit of sunshine, but I wouldn't expect to see much improvement on the roads. And then tonight, we have a cold weather advisory in effect for most of the viewing area. East and south of the Triangle, we could see wind chills in the single digits, but no matter where you are, the wind chill tomorrow morning is likely to put you somewhere in the teens, mainly in the low teens. Look at how cold it is back to our west. Our air is coming from here. It's 2 in Louisville, it's 7 in Chicago, it's -9 in Des Moines. And then for us, the wind chills tomorrow will range from, say, 10 in Clinton to 4 up in Conway, 12 in Durham, 12 in Sanford. So it's going to be bitterly cold as you head out the door tomorrow morning. So again, things will be crisply icy and messy and, just not a lot of fun. We'll see an overnight low of around 19 degrees. Now, tomorrow we will see some sunshine, so some improvement during the afternoon. And then as we get into the weekend, much more improvement as we warm up and see plenty of sun.
Elizabeth, thanks. Let's take a look at today's WRAL live poll. So we are asking, are crews doing enough to clear the roads? Share your voice right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or head to WRAL.com/yourvoice. We will check the results at the end of this newscast.
I agree with where we are right now.
Thumbs up.
Once again, another of our live camera options here producing snow. This is the legislative building downtown Raleigh. And this is the neat thing here because you can see all our live weather cameras throughout the triangle, including downtown Raleigh, Durham Bulls Athletic Park. So many options, more than 36 of those cameras just by going to WRAL.com/webcams. And you'll see beautiful views just like this.
And so many of them looking like a snow globe.
Yes.
Like you shake it and those flakes are falling. We have other news to tell you about. Breaking news. A Wake County man charged with killing his girlfriend will have his first appearance in front of a judge in about an hour.
WRAL's Heidi Kirk is live outside the Wake County Detention Center. And Heidi, this murder played out at a storage facility.
And Jeff, Renee, we actually just came from that storage facility. It's in Cary. It's called CubeSmart. We were just checking out the scene after this all played out yesterday. Now go ahead and take a look at your screen. We want to give you a first look at the man who is facing those charges. This is Travis Huff. He's now charged for killing his girlfriend, Rebecca Carter. Now, Cary police say Carter was the manager of that storage facility and lived there. We captured video just after police arrived at the storage facility where they found Carter dead inside an apartment connected to that leasing office. Now, Cary police say Huff was also on the scene and made incriminating statements to those responding officers. Now, we're still working to learn exactly what played out on that scene, and that's why we're here at the Wake County Detention Center. Normally, that first appearance would play out in the Wake County Courthouse, but it's closed because of the weather. We're going to be here in court as it plays out at 1:30 and asking some of those questions that we still want to know the answers to. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Back to our winter weather coverage. We are waiting to find out if any school districts will be closed or operate on a delay tomorrow. Wake County schools, like many others, are closed for a second day in a row. Unlike other districts, Wake is not doing remote learning today and will have to make up that day in May. WRAL Investigates wanted a better understanding of why it decided not to go remote. We found it is written in their policy to prioritize in-person makeup days over remote learning. A spokesperson tells us that policy was written in 2022 when parents were fed up with online learning. Now that parents appear to be warming back up to that idea, the district plans to reconsider that policy.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, I'm keeping my eye on the viewer pictures that are coming in through our reported submission tab. I want to show you this photo right here, a snowflake that appears to be against, some kind of background. I'm not sure if it's the tree or the ground there, but this is coming from Renee Lawing. And then this next one, this one is beautiful. Look at this right here. This is from Marilyn Millane CA, and she is from Creedmoor, North Carolina. You can see this beautiful backyard there with the pool. It's been exposed there, but still just a pretty look there. But this one, I think, takes the cake for me personally because look at the detail of this snowflake that you have right here on the screen. Isn't that cool? It's very awesome. Just a reminder, you also can submit your things to be featured here on air by going to WRAL.com/report it, and we'll put your content on TV as soon as we're able to. Want to leave you with this, a look at I-87 at New Hope Road right now, as there are plenty of vehicles out there on a slick road. Our team coverage of this winter blast that we are experiencing right now continues after the break.
It's been a fun morning. No one can make it up the hill.
This is one of the worst spots that we have seen. Sheet of ice, we are just slipping and sliding.
The Triangle's snowiest day in 5 years.
An inch of snow can really cause some problems.
Man, it's been an absolute mess this morning.
No sunshine out there. We are socked in with the clouds.
There's really not going to be a whole lot of melting.
Absolute sheet of ice.
Really, in the last 10 or so minutes, the snowfall is picked back up here.
We're actually seeing a little bit of a coating happening, just like the model said yesterday.
Our team is spread throughout North Carolina this morning.
The sunshine is usually our friend after these types of events. It's just not there. But here is a look at the headlines this half hour. Within the last half hour, a crash on eastbound I-40 near exit 319 cleared. The lanes near McGee's Crossroads are no longer shut down. RDU is still reporting dozens of cancellations and delays, so be sure to phone first. And 189 power outages still, or I should say our power outages are still at over 6,100 for the state.
Yeah, not seeing sunshine, but we are seeing those beautiful fat flakes falling down right now. WRAL has the most experienced, largest severe weather team in North Carolina. Our crews are tracking the storm in the WRAL studio, live on the ground, and monitoring conditions using our live camera network.
We do want to begin with Elizabeth Gardner and on the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a look at the snowy conditions and when we might see some melting here. The winter alerts hanging on.
Yeah, they are. So this is a look at our winter alerts. It just expanded. It had been for the entire view.
Breaking news, bird flu has been detected in a great horned owl in Cary. North Carolina Wildlife says it's the first case in Wake County since 2023. The owl, along with a hawk and several geese, were found dead in Cary and tested. Results are still pending on the other birds, but NC Wildlife's game birds and wildlife supervisor says this is the time of year when bird flu is typically found in our area.
A lot of our bird populations have not seen this virus before and have little resistance to it, so they can actually carry it and not show the disease, which allows transmission to other birds during the winter months, in particular when they migrate together and congregate together.
The CDC says transmission to humans is very rare. Coming up today at 4, we'll tell you how the government is using AI to help predict where bird flu could be found next.
We've been putting a lot of miles on our WRAL storm tracker over the past 2 days. WRAL's Keely Arthur joins us live now in Raleigh with a look at road conditions here as we see just inside the belt line there. Keely.
Hi there, Jeff. Yes, we are just getting out of Garner, heading into Raleigh right now. We're on Timber Drive. We wanted to get on this road because just a few hours ago, it was really treacherous. Things have improved a little bit. Plow had come through the area, but still lots of snow packed into the roads. And that's kind of what you're seeing on a lot of these thoroughfares that are used, but not necessarily the highways. Timber Drive, Lake Wheeler, those roads, the secondary thoroughfares, are the ones that people are commuting on, but really should try to avoid because we're still seeing a lot of snow on the roadways. We've talked to several people through our trek in Wake County, many of them just stopping in the gas stations and stuff because they are not working today. So that's really the good thing to hear, is that with all the cancellations, not many people have to be on the roads. Coming to you live from Wake County, Keely Arthur, WRAL News.
Keely, thanks for that. And for any questions about how much snow accumulated at RDU, best days to wash the brine off your vehicle, and head over to WRAL.com for that. Check out the weather Q&A page. Meteorologist Chris Michaels breaks it all down for you.
Happening now with the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's take you outside, give you a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. You can see those nice fluffy flakes coming down, as Elizabeth has been talking about. But really and truly, the great news is we just got some light traffic. Nothing to report there in terms of any delays. So it's really a situation where people have heeded the warnings to just steer clear and delay your start times today. A little further east, this is I-87 and New Hope Road. You can see traffic flowing nicely in both directions. Again, those flakes coming down, not having any issues on the road, which is really good news. And really, the troubled spots today have been those secondary roads where we have seen, particularly on Pool Road, where they've had to shut down that area for a little while. But things are beginning to improve, as we saw from Brittany's. Right now, we just have this crash on Traywick Road, just off Capitol Boulevard. But for the most part, even with the snow coming down, all the major routes are delay-free right now from Wendell, Durham, Raleigh, and Chapel Hill.
Ken, thanks for that. I was just looking at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club behind me. It has that nice blanket of snow on it. That'll protect the greens nicely.
I don't see any golfers out there, though.
You have to use the orange or the fluorescent yellow ball so you can see them in the snow, so they stand out against it.
Jeff likes to say, no matter the weather, there's always people out golfing.
There's a way to get out there.
Eventually, certainly. But it's so pretty to see the snow falling out there right now. Elizabeth, will that snow be adding to any totals here?
Not much. I mean, maybe just a little bit of a light coating. A cat a little while ago did have some radar estimates that were, looking at maybe a half an inch in a few places. But fortunately, we haven't seen a lot of that sticking to the roads. And of course, that's really the big thing. Apex, we have snow coming down. It's really tapered off in Chapel Hill, but it's definitely coming down here in the gardens. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it is accumulating on, like the grass here where we already have an established layer of snow. But we really haven't seen, a lot of the roads, especially as we've gotten through the last few hours, a lot of the roads have improved. This morning, early on, Salem Street there in Apex was really covered with ice. So we have begun to see some improvement, even though our temperatures are still in the upper 20s. Zebulon looks gorgeous. It's just looked like a snow globe for the last 2 hours. And even yesterday, this is one of the places where we started to see the snow falling and it began to stick to the grass. It was so pretty, so looking gorgeous. But of course, over here is the driveway, and we're not seeing this current snowfall sticking to the driveway. So that's definitely good news. Here's a look at Sanford, and we have snow coming down and through downtown Sanford. We're not seeing any of it sticking to the roads either. So that is all good news. I'm hoping to see a little bit of improvement in the roads. However, it will be bitterly cold tonight, so we'll have that refreeze happening. This is that last band of snow. As it moves eastward, it's starting to shrink a little bit too. Once that's over, we're done, and we may even see a little bit of sunshine by the time the day is over. From Raleigh to Clayton to Rocky Mount to Wilson up toward Roanoke Rapids, that's where we still have this last little bit of snow that's falling. Here's a look at the bigger picture, and there's the back edge of it. Starting to see a little bit of sunshine trying to peek out back to the west right now, and it'll be nice to see that. Our chance for any more snow falling drops off dramatically once we get past 1 o'clock, back down to just a 30 to 40% chance early this afternoon. Then we'll be done with it, with a little sunshine trying to peek through. Meteorologist Kat Campbell here with a look at our visible satellite image where we are seeing a little sunshine.
The Triad starting to see the sun come out. Good news, there were some crashes reported on I-40 in Winston-Salem earlier this morning, so they really need that sunshine to help dry things out on the roads. And we could see some of this a little bit later on this afternoon. Here's kind of that back edge of the cloud cover right in here, so it's closing in on Orange County as well as Chatham and Person counties, but it's going to be slow to move in this afternoon. Any bit of sunshine that we get this afternoon, though, will certainly help. But tomorrow, when we get a full day of sunshine, that's when we're expecting to see more substantial melting. When we look ahead over the next couple of hours, it's really as we get towards sunset, 5, 6 o'clock, that we could see a little bit of sunshine peeking through, but that's when temperatures are going to start to fall again. It's definitely going to be a cold night. Snow not melting is bad news for the roads, but good news for a lot of the kids out there who want to make the most of their snow day and go sledding, Elizabeth.
Yeah, there may be some more sledding that happens tomorrow with that minimal melting that we'll see. But of course, there are folks who are trying to get around on it. A lot of the main roads are looking a little better in the last couple of hours, but there's still some spots where it's real tricky out there. So if you can stay home, do. Most likely we'll have a lot of school disruptions tomorrow with some lingering ice, especially in some of the neighborhoods. And then by late Friday into Saturday, more sunshine should help that melting process. Yesterday's snow ended up being the largest single day snow in the last 5 years. The last time we had snowfall that heavy was February 20th, 2020. Yesterday, we ended up officially with 2.3 at RDU. It was 3.3 in Durham, 5 inches in South Hill, 3.5 in Rocky Mount, about a half an inch in Goldsboro. Our wind chill this afternoon continues to be pretty bitter. It's going to feel like mid-20s, and then we see those wind chills really dropping off. We have a cold weather advisory in effect for our southern and eastern counties. It's going to feel like 10 in Clinton, 11 in Benson, 12 in Lewisburg, and some places may drop on down into the single digits before tomorrow morning. Tomorrow should be a nice, bright, sunny day with some melting, and our temperatures really climb over the weekend and into next week.
It is WRAL Weather Alert Day. Lots of our viewers have stayed at home. Thanks for that. The same is true for people in Virginia Beach. Beautiful view right here at the beach, but not exactly a beach day, right?
About 10 inches of snow has fallen on the coastal city this week. After the break, meteorologist Chris Michaels shares some important things you need to know now that the worst of the storm has passed.